The mirror match. Oh, and we just played against this player. Yeah, you're probably not going to see these games back to back, but Ayula, Queen Among Bears, versus Ayula, Queen Among Bears. And what were we playing against? It was a white Voltron deck that is a game you've probably already seen. I can't remember who it was exactly. It is our turn to get things going. I don't think I'm going to bother getting down the skull clamp straight away, so let's just go in for a forest and pass the turn. Ayula, Queen Among Bears, is 2 mana for a 2/2. Whenever a bear enters under our control, we can put 2+ counters on a bear, or a bear we control fights another creature we do not control. Green Sun Zenith, most likely going in for the Dryad Arbor. And that's exactly what they're going for. This is a creature land. Alright, Universal Automaton, that's a couple of bears that we have now. Let's get a land with the Wooded Foothills. And then we'll go in for our commander. Now, it's risky going in for a Dryad Arbor against Ayula because we can fight that with one of our bears that we have in hand. Now, what we could do is go in for the Herald's Horn next turn, and then we'll be able to choose bears on that, obviously, and Universal Automaton will come in for free then, and we can get rid of our opponent's Dryad Arbor. Alright, just deciding to go for a Cultivate. I was debating there, if they went for their own Ayula, I was debating whether or not to use Grizzly Bears to get rid of it. They have another land to play now, so they're going to be able to cast their commander a couple of times. Okay, Caller of the Claw. That's more in here to fight against mass removal, board wipes. Yeah, let's just go for what we thought. Herald's Horn. Obviously naming bear here, in a bear tribal deck. Then Universal Automaton can come down. And that has Changeling, so it does count as a bear. Oh, and actually, does this say... I'm still getting used to Ayula. Oh, it says target bear, so we actually could have had Ayula fight that and kept our Universal Automaton, so that's a mistake from me. Yeah, we could have kept the Universal Automaton around in order to clamp it, so that feels pretty bad. Down comes our opponent's Ayula. And there's Mother Bear. Haven't gotten to cast this one yet, but this is a new one from Modern Horizons. For 5, you can exile it from the graveyard and get a couple of bears. And no doubt they're going to fight our Ayula here. Now with Herald's Horn, we reveal the top card of our library, and if it's a bear, we can reveal it, but it isn't. It is in fact the Ramunap Excavator. Let's just get down Dust Bowl, and we'll go in for our Ayula here. It's only going to cost 3 thanks to the Herald's Horn. And Grizzly Bears will cost 1. We will fight our opponent's commander here and keep our own in play. They can recast it next turn, but it's not likely that we're going to see another bear come into play right after our opponent's commander. More ramp from our opponent. They're deciding not to go for their commander quite yet. And a Hardened Scales. Haven't gotten to play that card either, although it is in the deck. No, still no bears on the top of our library from the Herald's Horn, so yet to get any kind of card advantage from that. Let's just go for Ramunap. And then we can play and equip the Skull Clamp to Ramunap. Now our opponent does have 4 cards in hand, and they will have 6 mana, so they could go for their commander and then another bear and end up getting rid of our commander again, although we can recast it again quite easily. Okay, our opponent's saying GG for some reason. This seems to be a player that gives up really easily. Yep, that is going to make their commander cost less. Whenever you cast a creature spell, target creature you control gets +2/+2 and trample. And they said they didn't get into a bet. Were they saying good game to us? because they think they've won here. I'm not really sure what the GG was there. We're both at a high life total. And there we are, +2/+2 to Ayula, and then killing off our Ayula with theirs. Still no bears for us, so we will just draw into the island. We'll play a Wooded Foothills from the graveyard, and might as well just go in for our commander again. A Gaia's Cradle from our opponent. It's not the best deck to play Gaia's Cradle in, but if they can get at least a couple of creatures into play, then it's still a very, very good land. Oh, and it looks like our opponent is getting into their fair share of bears here as well. Let's see if they go after our commander again. Again going for the +2/+2 on Ayula. And the plus counters, instead of 2 they get 3 thanks to the hardened scales. And they did not go for the fight this time. Wow, they've gotten into more bears than I've ever seen with Ayula. There are a lot of bears missing from Magic Online, so unfortunately for us they've gotten into way more bears than we have. Looks like they're going for 2 plus counters here. And this time blowing up the Ayula, and theirs is now a 9/9. We are definitely going to block with Ramunap if they come in here. Well, we are getting into nothing but lands this game. That is, I think there's only 36 lands in the deck, something like that. Might have to duck it down to around 34. Yeah, our opponent's in top deck mode. I think we just take a turn off here to go for the Caged Sun. And that will double up our green mana. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if our opponent top decked a bear here. Seems to be par for the course for this game, unfortunately. Well, there you are. Metallic Mimic, we're going to see a good game from Ayula one way or another. That's the good thing about mirror matches. Giving +2/+2 to the Ashcote Bear from the Ronas's Monument. Metallic Mimic comes down as a bear, and now every bear that enters will enter with a +1/+1 counter, or 2 thanks to the hardened scales. And then because it enters as a bear, it triggers Ayula. So they'll get to put a couple, or actually 3 plus counters on another bear, and they are spreading the threats around. So this is a lot of damage coming through. That is 12, 16 damage, I think. I don't see what we can draw into here to help us out of this one. Wow, we are, just going to get into mana this game apparently. So let's get down the Sol Ring. We'll get down the Caller of the Claw as well, just for the fun of it. I think Caller of the Claw is coming out of this deck. Didn't really know whether to keep it in, because it's 1 versus 1, and I didn't know if we'd ever have chance to cast Caller of the Claw. And then Dust Bowl can get rid of the Gaia's Cradle. We'll just get rid of a forest. And we'll pass it over like that. Yeah, I've just typed that and I'm now realising it might sound patronising. I don't mean it to be patronising. It's a lot of people tend to give up really easily on Magic Online, and I'm just making sure our opponent knows that they were all too eager to give up there, and then because they persevered, they've ended up winning this one. And that's happened to me countless times. So I just want to make sure our opponent doesn't give up too easily. They've gone in for a Birthing Buffs. Now it's 4 and tap to create a Shapeshifter Changeling creature. And this is the opponent that said to us last game that they think we got into good draws, and I don't know if that was them being salty or not. I choose to believe that it isn't. But yeah, it looks like it's them that's getting into the good draws this time. We'll just block here and continue to lose the game. And there we are. Let's say Good game to our opponent. And that was a very good showing of our opponent's Ayula Queen Among Bears deck. I think the only card we've seen in here, I don't think we have Gaia's Cradle, because I don't think I can rely on that. Yeah, I don't think we have Birthing Buffs, and that might be a good include actually. Very late game card, but if you're desperate for bears, which we often are in this deck, then putting 4 mana into that in the mid to late game is actually going to be worth it. So yeah, if we've learned anything from this deck, it is that Birthing Buffs is not necessarily all that bad. Let's see what we would have drawn into. Evolution Sage, yeah, the whole idea of that is to put plus counters, more plus counters onto our bears, but it does entail bears with plus counters to be on the field, so yeah, I might trade that out for something like a doubling season. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed that mirror match, Ayula, Queen Among Bears. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.